Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the month of Aquarius. So just to remind you and to explain for those who join us today or in these days, that we are starting Aquarius today, not because the astrology, because we are not following the astrology, neither the sidereal or the tropical astrology right now. We are following the Atlantean months, and Atlantean months are counted as 30 days from the moment in which the star of Sirius rises up in the horizon, and that was August 4th, 2020. So that's why our 360 days of this year will be until July 29, okay, and that's why we are here beginning Aquarius today, even if astrologically it has started a few days ago. So along this entire month that we begin today of Aquarius, we will be connecting with the stars, with the constellations, with the skies. So we are going to connect with the vision of the future, but from the point of view of the aliens. So we will connect with that information throughout this month, I guess. So the topic for today, which is Polaris, is trying to remind us that we have to find our northern star to find the axis to be able to understand where we are, okay, in the sky. So if we are going to the stars in this month, we have to understand where are we in those stars and how are the others connecting to us in those stars. So along this whole month, we will be connecting with these stars and how they see us and how we connect with these stars throughout the galaxy. But in order to understand that, today we have to picture where we are in this connection within the galaxy. So first of all, I'm sorry that I posted in the blog really late today, and it's too much information. But today I moved again. I had to arrange everything again here, and because I came back home, as you see, in Giza. It took a long time until I could sit and write to connect again with the place, and it was so much information that I needed to take my time. Okay, so first of all, to thank, we have a new music. I don't know if you have heard it yet. It's a beautiful music, and I have to thank Juli de la Canal, Maga, Mariano, and Guille Capelluti for the music that they are doing and the really good song vibration that they did for this month, that I hope it will take us very deep into the skies. So from where we begin, I have my board. So again, we start. It's better that I have the board because I really need it. So I will ask you to pay a lot of attention, because is a lot of data, I guess, to understand today, so we can locate ourselves in the galaxy. And there are many things that we don't know about our location of the galaxy, and I guess it's really important to locate ourselves and to understand the relationship we have with the other stars. So the concept of the attribute of the I am in Aquarius is I know. So during this whole month, we will work with the I know, because Aquarius is the one that says, I know everything. I know this already. I already knew that. I know how this works. So Aquarius is the one that will remind us that we have the knowledge of the whole cosmos inside of us, the stars within. So everything that we will see, we will have to understand that, oh, I know that. Oh, yes, I knew that. Yes, I know that. So let's go to that. So let's go from where we begin. For the small or the big. From where can I begin? Because it's the whole galaxy. Okay. Can you see it? I hope you can see it. So just remember that the reason why we have here the north and here the south is because of the iron. Yes, the iron in the core of the planet that points all of it to the positive energy, okay, to the, like a magnet. So it goes to the north, so that's why we have the north. Here goes all the energy, and then creates the magnetical field. So this constellation here is called Ursa Minor. That means the tiny bear. We have the Ursa Major, the bigger bear, but these are the names that European people put because they had bears in their territory. In Africa and Middle East, this constellation was called the dog. So this was the tail of the dog. So that's how this star was known at first, the tail of the dog. So let's go first to why a bear or why a dog. So first of all, before we go to this, let's go to understand why a constellation has the shape of a bear or the shape of a dog. The reason why this happened, we have to go to Capricorn again and remember that in the ancient times, the people used to walk around the planet looking for food. So when they started to walk around, they guide themselves by the hills, the mountains, the rivers, the sea, the shores, the trees, to look for food. But there was a moment when they started to migrate really far that they couldn't guide themselves by the geography. So they saw that in the sky, the stars were almost the same every night. So they started to guide themselves by the stars. So how could they guide themselves and teach others how to not to get lost during the night, during the time? So what they had to do was to give names to those stars, and the way they gave these names is by creating these shapes by imagination that we call today the constellations. So they said that stars that are similar like a dog, like it has two different pods and two, like, has this shape. So you have to follow that, and it will guide you to blah blah blah, to this place. So so that's why a constellation is born. So then the priest, the the shamans, they start to create stories to tell to the people so they could know all the stars. They start to teach about these concepts. So they start to help the people to understand how to not to get lost. So basically, they just connected dots by imagination. And that's what they created, like a body, 2 paws, the head and the tail, and they said, that's a dog. And that's it. So something important for this month is that this concept, when we see the stars as objects separated in the sky, through our imagination, we start to connect the dots to understand that through the mind, everything is really connected. It's not all separated. So that's one of the most important keys of how the humanity started to create the networks in our minds. So it's really important because Aquarius is about that. It's about networks, the web. So here comes a way in which this started. Okay? Yeah. So remember that humans are born here in Africa, in this territory here, which is in between these territories that we call the tropics. So the humans start to spread in between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. In between this territory, the tropics, all the stars that are around this territory are going to be seen from the north and from the south. Okay? We see them from both places. So, for example, Orion's constellation, you can see it from the middle most of the time, but there are a few months of the year, because of the solstice and the equinoxes, when they move around, that this constellation will be seen sometimes only in the south and sometimes only in the north, but always will be seen in the middle. So in between these lines, you will always see this constellation, but because of solstice and equinoxes, above Cancer and below Capricorn, you won't see it from some months. So the people that is below Capricorn here will be constellations like Crux, but nobody above will see it ever. The same thing happened for the people under the Capricorn. They will never see Ursa Minor. Remember that the Earth is spinning in this sense. Because the Earth moves in this sense, in this direction, it will seem as if the stars are moving in this other direction. So I was just saying, sorry that I am explaining this, which seems so silly, but sometimes we don't really understand this, or we don't pay attention to that. So it's not like the sun is rising in the east, it's the Earth moving towards the east that makes the sky seems to move in this direction. Okay? So remember that this spinning here is really big, but when we go to the north, the spinning is so fast and so tiny that it seems like the stars in the north move slower than these ones that move faster. So it's like these ones are moving constantly, very like, whoa, like they take a long path and you see them moving hour by hour. But when you are in the north, you see these ones like almost not moving. So we say this is like a fixed star, but really all the stars are fixed. All the stars are there, but we are moving around so fast here that it seems like if it is moving faster. Okay? So it's just an illusion, a perception that these ones here move faster and this one are not moving. So basically nothing is really fixed in the universe. Everything is moving constantly, but the things are so far away that you cannot perceive how they move. So that's why the perception of the movement is only from our movement in Earth. In this territory here is where the people start to move around the planet. So they start to expand through the different regions of this of the tropical region of the planet. So in this territory, the stars are moving so fast that they're moving so fast from our point of view that it's difficult to follow a path because the stars are moving constantly. So the only way you can just see always the same direction is by the stars that are not moving, basically. So that is why the people, the explorers, in the migrations, the sailors, they were looking into the northern star so they don't get lost. So let's use another color for another thing. So remember now that the sun, as we spoke in Sagittarius, the sun is pulling the earth by gravity. It's so heavy that it's pulling the earth. So that changed the north, the axis, yeah, and it makes the earth moving in circles in the opposite direction. And this turn is 26,000 years. Remember, this turn here takes 24 hours. This turn here turns 26,000 years. So remember that this spinning like this, that takes 26,000 years, we can divide it in 12 different regions, and each one of them will be called an era. That's what we call the Pisces era, Aquarius era, Capricorn era, Leo, and so on, which take approximately 2,400 years each. So in this turn, in this spinning, in each era, the axis of the planet will be pointing to a different northern star. So during these 2,000 years, starting 1,000 years in the past, in the Middle Ages, till the year 3,000 in the future, Polaris will be our northern star. For example, 12,000 years ago, in the end of the Atlantean era, Atlantean civilization, the northern star was Vega. And during the Egyptian period, the northern star was Alpha Draconis. So it is changing. It's because of this that when the Earth starts to spin, is that because of the gravity of the sun, the physical axis of the planet is moving around in this period of time. So because of this movement, whenever the Earth is spinning, these stars are the ones that will seem like quiet and still. So around 26,000 years ago, Polaris was our northern star. And that moment was really important for humanity because 26,000 years ago was the time when Polaris, when humanity recognized the strength of, oh, that's what we can do. It became intelligent beings, able to create cultures in that period. So that's why these people started to create like a leap of evolution after thousands and millions of years of human history. In that period of time, 26,000 years ago, they jumped into what we are today. So now we are again in the axis of this star. So that's why it means that in this period of time, we have the opportunity to create a great leap into a new evolution for the next 26,000 years. That's it. And that's why Polaris is so important for us as the guide star, because it means the opportunity to make a great leap, a great jump into another level of consciousness. So I'm erasing everything. Just you maybe see me very like, whoa, yes, this is the time, but of course I'm speaking about universal time. So we are not going to do this leap in just next year. This will take another 1,000 years, but well, anyway, it's just the emotion of knowing that we are in the middle. Ahora vamos a otra cosa. Perdón, pero hoy voy a hablar un montón. Sorry, but I am going to speak a lot today. So now we go to another thing. Now let's go a little bit more towards the bigger thing. Can you see it? I imagine that you know what is this? Moon, Earth, and Sun. So just as ecological information, I used to put the sun hidden like this because I met my dad when I was 27, so I never had my dad with me. So my mom is in the middle because she was always there, and my grandmother. So that's why I don't put the sun in the middle. So just as a detail. So we are in this place that we call the solar system. So we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and there, Pluto. So this is the solar system, and the limits of the solar system is called the cloud of Oort. Yeah. And here in the middle, we have the asteroid belt. So what I want to show here is the distances of things so we can understand it. So let's use round numbers, not detailed numbers. So the light moves at 300,000 kilometers per second. So the speed of light is this number. The amount of kilometers that you have to do to go all around the planet through the equator is 40,000 kilometers. This means that approximately 4,000 kilometers. This means that in 1 second, the light can make 8 turns around the planet. 8. 1. If this spinning here takes 8 turns in 1 second, 8 turns around the planet. So from the sun to the earth, the light takes 8 minutes. And that is 150 million kilometers. It's a lot. Very far away. Now, let's picture this. This is the solar system, and this here is the cloud of Oort cloud. Think about this. From the sun to the earth, the light takes 8 minutes. From the earth to the limits of the Oort cloud, 2 light years. 2 years. So this limit, the cloud of Oort, are all the different pieces like asteroids and comets and stuff that are floating around, and they come back pushed by the gravity of the sun, and sometimes they collapse and creates a disaster in planets. So all of them are here, but once some of these tiny little pieces go out of the limits of the Oort cloud, they are not pulled anymore by the gravity of the sun. They goes away. So imagine that for a human to get here, we'll need approximately 100,000 years. Sorry, 50,000. So 50,000 years to get to the limit. Just think about this. This is the cloud of Oort. This is a solar system. And the closest star that we have is Alpha Centauri. And Alpha Centauri is the closest one, and it's 4 light years. 4 light years. Too much. And now we go to the big thing. Let's go to the galaxy. So this would be our galaxy. So the galaxy from one side to the other needs 100,000 light years. Very big. So this is the center of the galaxy, and this dot here is our sun. So our sun is inside a tiny arm of the galaxy called Orion's arm. This arm here, the bigger one, is called Perseus' arm. This one here is a Sagittarius arm. This is the arm of the Centaurus. And this one here is called the arm of Norma. This one here. These are the arms of the galaxy. Okay. From the sun to the center of the galaxy, we have 25,000 light years. This territory here is really heavy. Is impossible to live, to exist, because the gravity is so much, and it's all pushed to a black hole. In this territory around, we have 5,000 light years of weight. So now I invite you to do this. If you have an open sky, no clouds, I invite you to go out tonight, see the sky, and try to see as many stars as you can in the sky. All the ones you can. And all of them that you can count and see are just inside this circle. Just that. If you are able to go to a very clean places like the Atacama Desert, any desert without light, without much contamination of light, you will be able watch this territory of the galaxy. And with a really big telescope, like the NASA or any telescope that you can find in this planet, you will be able to see even other galaxies. But you will never be able to see what is in this territory of the galaxy, behind this chaos of the center. So all the stars that we usually see, like Orion, Sirius, Pleiades, Arcturus, and all the stars that we usually speak about, all of them are inside this circle. So one important thing, it's not the same speaking about stars than speaking about constellations. Let's see why. Imagine that usually when we speak about constellations, they used to say, they used to name the stars like Alpha Andromeda, Beta Andromeda, Gamma Andromeda, like the Greek letters. So you have all the names of the stars that are part of the constellation, named like this: Alpha, Beta, Gamma, so on. So some of the stars, some of them are here close to our solar system. Other one is here. Other one is outside in the Centaurus. Other one is really far away in Perseus. And other one that seems like a star is actually a galaxy called Andromeda, which is very far away. Very far away. So to understand this, when we say about the beings that lives in the constellations, it's not that the constellation has all the stars together like a group of stars, and that's a constellation. A constellation is a perception from our point of view from Earth that connect the dots on the stars that we see there. But actually, they are in different distances and different things that are not part of a tiny thing, of a group of stars. So I hope you can understand this now, that when we say, for example, the Andromedan people, we are not speaking about the people from the galaxy of Andromeda. We are maybe speaking about one of the stars on the constellation of Andromeda. So that's our point of view. It's not that they all are together, but it's our perception. I'm sorry, but I know it's too much, but it's important for everything that we are going to speak in the other moments. So this is how we should see it. So maybe the star is at 4 years. This is 250,000 years. This is 300 years. This is 50 years. But all of them, from our point of view, will shape a constellation. So all this is basically connected anyway with the thought, the network of thinking of the universe, of the mind of the universe. It's all connected. So it doesn't matter at what distances this is, it will be anyway connected to the mind. To understand this also, we might say that because these stars are really far, they cannot affect us because the gravity is really far away, so it's impossible to affect us. But actually, they appeared billions of years before, so they are affecting us from the very beginning, because everything is really connected. So because everything is really connected, we have to understand that today the science maybe say that there is a void in between the planets and the stars that we cannot understand really. But today, speaking about the space, is like when before people thought that there was no air, that there was a void in between the things and nothing was connected. And now we know that everything is all filled with things, with the air, with the atoms and so on. So so eventually we will know that of this connection and how this gravity affects us anyway. So that's how the astrology can affect us, because of these pulses of gravity that as farther they are, the lower they affect. So sometimes we say this constellation is affecting us, but it's not the constellation, it's some stars of that constellation that affect us. Sorry that I am speaking too much, but the information is here, so I am trying to say it anyway. So the thing is that most of the times it's not the pressure of the gravity of the stars that affect us astrologically, but it is our mind perceiving how the place and the moment we are living in this planet, when the constellation is there, is affecting us. So this is much more psychological aspect of the astrology, that is more related to what is happening on Earth when or while the star is there than the star itself affecting us. Just to get the point, to understand how maybe this works, let's explain it with the moon. The moon has a gravitational weight. Okay, it's matter, so it has a weight and a gravity. But the gravity of the Earth is bigger, so it's pulling the moon around. But the movement of this gravity of the moon is pushing the water of the planet. So that's why the tides in the oceans are related to the moon, because the energy and the weight of the moon is moving the waters. So also the water, it's moved within ourselves. We are water. So that's why when the full moon appears, which is when the bright of the sun reflects in the moon and comes to us, the energy of the moon is bigger on us because the light is coming to us in 1 second. So that's why the water in our bodies is affected by the full moon. That's why the cycle of the menstruation in women are related to the full moon, to the cycles of the moon. The mood of the people is also related to the moon, and so on. So everyone gets crazy when there's full moon, and that's it. So the thing is that the first times that the pressure, the gravity of the moon affect us all the time. It usually affects us constantly. So because of this movement, we have been thousands of years prepared to see how the cycles are. So our bodies got used to this reception of information from the moon. So psychologically, we got ready, we were prepared for what is coming every moon. So sometimes it's not the moon or the sun or whatever star affecting us, but it's our own psychological preconception of what can come with its presence that we activate. So it's like when someone throws to you something and the first time will hit you, but next times you will do a reflection. You will have a reflection of how to, oops, no more light. Of how, sorry. Okay, no light. So what I was saying is that what I was saying is that when someone throws to you something, you will have the reflection. This means that your mind got used to the reaction of what is going to happen in that situation. So astrologically also happened that it's like you are predisposed to what is going to happen because you naturalize the cycles, okay? But we are going to go into that much more, so don't worry. Yo qué sé. So I guess that one more thing. So something that we have to understand about the skies is related to what I spoke about, the distances of the light. 8 minutes takes the light to come from the sun to us. 4 years takes the light from Alpha Centauri to us. 300 years takes the light from Orion to us. So that means that whenever you look into the skies, you are always seeing the past. You see always the past, never the present. You are seeing what happened in the stars 300 years ago, 4 years ago, and the sun itself 8 minutes ago, all the time. The only thing you see in just 1 second is the moon. So now, when we think about aliens and people that are in the stars, they usually see us in the same way. I mean, if we look into the stars and we see the past, when they look into our star, they see the past. So we both are looking into our past. But when someone in another planet got into the idea of, I can communicate through light by my consciousness, which is in everywhere in the universe, and I can connect to everything in the universe through consciousness, I will use the light to communicate with others. So because they can see our past, they will communicate with us through the past. That's the way in which they can communicate with us in the present, by communicating everything in the past. You get it? They are the future. They are living a future. But when they communicate with us, their information arrived to the past. So I know this is a little bit chaotic, but let's try to explain it easier. But the idea is that the light is a way, is a path of consciousness. So we use light to go into consciousness. So if light takes years to get to another planet, that means that the way in which the consciousness moves through the universe, it will take years to arrive to the other place. So from their point of view, in the future, they will receive the light of our past. So when they communicate with the consciousness, they send information to our past, not to our present. It's a paradox of the universe. Let's put an example. Let's put this example. So now think like we have an alien that is an alien of light in the sun and a human on Earth, 8 minutes different. Okay. So the sun will emit this light that arrives to the planet in 8 minutes. Here's night and here's day. So the reflection of the light will come back to the sun and will take 8 minutes to arrive back. So this being sent a message to this being from here. Just as an example, imagine that this being of light is an Argentinian, which is very weird, but this is an enlightened being that is an Argentinian. Why an Argentinian? Because we used to say, we used to affirm the sentences by saying no before, like no, like, but this no means yes, is kind of our slang. So so imagine that this guy is an Argentinian that says that the answer is yes, that wants to send an answer to this one on the Earth, and says the answer was yes, but first thing he says is no. So this person here will take 8 minutes to receive the message of no. And that person will believe that the message was no. And it will take 8 minutes more until the answer yes will arrive. So that's the distance, okay? So this person will receive the information 8 minutes later. And if this one answers back, this person will receive the message 8 minutes later. So the concept of this is that these people got to find a tool. They found a tool, a solution for this conflict. So the way they found the solution of this is that they found the mind, and they said, oh, the tool that we have to communicate with everything is the mind, because everything is connected. So they said, okay, I have to communicate with the mind, but the mind is vibration. So everything is connected by vibration. So, but in order to connect with the vibration, I have to use the photons, which is the light. So when they found the mind, when they received the message 8 minutes later, instead of sending an answer back that will take 8 minutes, they just become the mind, so become the everything, and they just answer themselves. They just answer themselves, not using the vibration, not using sending information through the light. They become the answer through the mind. The concept is that instead of answering back through the vibration that will take 8 minutes more to get here, they just become the mind. And when they receive the light, they use the light to know that there is someone, and they become themselves the mind of the whole thing and answer by becoming the answer. So they don't use the streaming to the earth back. They just speak to that person 8 minutes ago. So the best way to understand this is telepathy. But the thing is that through telepathy, I am just answering the question inside. I am not sending that back. So it will not go straight to the person. It will just be answered to the person 8 minutes ago. So I will be always speaking with the past. What usually the aliens are connecting with us in the past, because they are receiving the light of our planet in the past. So they live in the future, but when they receive the information and answer the information, they can only communicate with us in the past. Basically, I explain this because when we say why the ancient people has so many technology and we don't have that connection with the aliens, basically it's because we are asking those questions now, and the answers of how to do it with the aliens arrive to our past. So it's this paradox of the universe, that the people in the past are having the answers of our questions today. I don't know if you get it, but I don't know how to explain it either. So maybe tomorrow I will be able to explain it better. Even if it's complicated, I wanted to leave all this explanation now, the first day, because in the next days maybe we'll be connected with other beings in other dimensions or other, I don't know. So just in case, I wanted to explain all this before. And even more, we have Mercury retrograding, so don't expect much. So I will shut up. The vibration for today is La. The statement for today is I am the divine word. The code for today is water in the shape of vapor. From the basis elements of creation, the elemental trinities are founded. In the water trinity, vapor represents the spiritual plane of information, where the subconscious that surrounds everything radicates. It's the subtle aspect of the cosmic memory, carrying the data of the universal mind to every space of the worlds in the form of humidity. We are all connected by the unique spirit of water. When we finish with this, just try not to think about everything that we spoke now. Just do something silly and relax the mind. So just as a summary, if you got lost in the explanation, remember that we started to explain Polaris to understand how we perceive the skies, so we could understand where we are located, how we see the sky, how are all those constellations, how the light travels through the space, so we could understand how the other beings and other planets communicate with us, so we can kind of understand in which times and how we communicate each other. As deeper we go into Aquarius, it will get much mysterious and deeper into the other realities and so on, so maybe it would be complicated. Sit comfortable, close your eyes. And I focus in my breathing. I pay attention to the environment that I am in, and I use my imagination to picture this space, this place, as a dark night, a deep space around. If I feel so, I can position my body in a shape, in a comfortable position that reminds me of Earth. And I use my imagination to feel that I am Earth. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and imagine, picture a big star in front of you. Is the sun, and around me the moon, and in between I perceive the planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I am the solar system. Way beyond, behind the sun and the planets, I can see the stars, the constellations. All through the river of dust, in the arm of Orion, inside the great galaxy of the Milky Way. And above me, I see a star shining bright, Polaris, reminding me that this is my north, my axis, that I am here and now. This is my place in between all this existence around me. And this is the moment where I realize that the earth is not below me and the sky is not above. It's the moment I realize that the earth is a speck in between thousands of stars in the skies. I become aware that the earth is not below, that the earth has been always part of the heaven, and its light shines like a star. And I realize that this light that shines from it is the word of the divinity speaking through the light, through the consciousness, to this great network of conscious planets and stars. The earth speaks through the light to the other worlds. Holding the axis In Polaris, I open myself, singing through the light of my consciousness, to call and to receive the messages and the words of the other conscious worlds around me. I am the divine word. I am the divine word. I am the divine word. And my word is being heard by all those who live in the different planets of this great galactic confederation. I know, I know, I know. This is the word that I must use to let know to the great galactic confederation that I am ready to speak with them. I know. Take a deep breath and slowly and softly I caress my body, coming back here and now. Thank you everybody for being there. And as always, see you tomorrow at the same time.